Hey guys, what's up? It's Lexi. I have Feather here. I really hope you guys enjoyed my last few videos. You guys have been so sweet. You guys have left so many sweet comments and have been so supportive. Today's video is going to be a story time. It's about something that happened a few years back. And I'm going to be telling you guys a story about the time that I was pretty much kidnapped by a man and then later found out that he was a serial therapist, if you catch my drift. Before we start, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. You can join our spooky fam. We talk everything paranormal, everything supernatural, and everything spiritual. I will also be leaving my paranormal playlist somewhere up here and down below if you're interested. So let's just get started. So if this is your first time watching me, my name is Lexi. Hello. I am a recovering addict. I'm gonna have 6 years clean in November of this year. Yeah, so I'm 6 years clean. And let me tell you, Rob, my husband, and I have lived so many lives. We've been together for almost 10 years. So we have been through so much shit together. If you watched my haunted trap house video, you guys will know that at that time I was living with Rob at this guy's house named Victor. He was also using drugs at the time. And this story takes place around that time. Like I said before, Victor always had random ass people coming in and out of the house. And one day Victor says he's gonna have somebody over. It's an old friend, he's super chill. Victor introduces us, we all say hi. He comes up to us and he says, "Hi, my name's Magic." That's such a weird fucking name for a weird man, but okay. Yes, hi, my name's Magic. I'm like, okay. We didn't know his real name, but this is what everybody knew him by as well. And the first time we met him, he was actually super nice, super respectful. He's like a middle-aged man, kind of tall, kind of lanky. Like, he looked super normal. And oh my god, he was in love, like obsessed with Feather. And even though he was kind of respectful, he was pretty nice, there's just something off about him. There's something that I didn't like about him. I don't know what it was, but I swear, something in the eyes tell you when someone's a fucking weirdo, I swear. But something about this man made my skin crawl, and when I had talked about it later on when he left, Rob agreed, Victor agreed, Beth, who I talk about in the haunted trap house video, she agreed. Everyone was like, he's kind of weird. Why did he keep coming over, you ask? 2 words. Free. Especially free, which was my drug of choice. So he'd come over, he would help everybody out, and no one said anything, right? So that's the first time we meet Magic. Next time he comes over, he is being kind of really weird with Feather. He kept trying to touch her, he kept trying to pet her, and we kept telling her no. She's really afraid of men. The only man she likes is my husband, Rob. She's a daddy's girl all the way. So she was sitting on his lap, on Rob's lap. And he kept telling Magic, don't pet her, don't touch her. Like, you can look at her, you can talk to her, just don't touch her. She is really nervous. He completely ignored Rob and he went over to try to pet her. Feather freaked out and she ran off of his lap. She went to the end of the kitchen and Magic goes up there and corners her pretty much. Feather's freaking out. She's kind of like trying to get out of this little space that he has her cornered in. And she doesn't bite. So the next best thing to do was scream. She didn't bark, she didn't growl, she literally started screaming like a woman. And I had never heard another dog make that noise. I was freaked out, Rob was freaked out, we both run over there. We're like, dude, get the fuck away from her, we told you. Leave her alone, don't touch her. So we pick her up, she's shaking, she's so fucking scared. And you know how people say, like, if an animal doesn't like you, or if an animal doesn't like a person, don't trust them? Like, animals know. And that should have been the first fucking red flag. So a few months passed, we hadn't heard from him, and we were all at Victor's house. Me and Rob were dope sick. But Rob was actually sick, like he had a flu, so he felt like shit. And it was his birthday. So I had planned to go to one of my friend's house to pick up. And then I wanted to go to the store to buy him like a cake, buy him some food, you know, just like cheer him up for his birthday. I go to the truck and the truck doesn't turn on. So I'm like, fuck. We're getting like sicker and sicker by the second. So I'm like, babe, don't trip. Like, I got us, just rest. So a few minutes later, Magic comes in and he's like, hey guys, what's up? And Victor goes up to him and he's like, hey Lexi, why don't you ask him? Magic turns to me, he's like, ask what? And I'm like, don't trip, don't worry about it, like I will figure it out. And around this time it's like 2 p.m. so it's starting to get kind of late. Well, Magic turns to me and he's like, hey, I'm gonna go down this way, like towards the grocery store. If you want to come with me, that's fine, like I'll drive you, I have no problem with it. I look over at Rob and you could tell he feels like shit. He was passed out, he was asleep. So I'm like, you know what, yeah, fuck it, let me get a ride with you, let me get ready and I'll be right there. So I get in the car and not even a minute passes, Magic puts the CD in and it's a bunch of songs with the word magic in it. The first song that played was Do You Believe in Magic? Fucking weirdo. I just had a weird feeling, but I was like, whatever, like let's just get this over with, right? He's driving so fucking slow, like he's making it a point to drive as slow as possible. And he's trying to make conversation with me. I'm just like, uh-huh. And then he starts talking about his type of girls, the kind of girls he likes, what he's into, about the first time he lost his virginity. Like, it was this girl who was so skinny and so little. She looked so young. She was so helpless. Like, she ran away from home. And they have colored hair. They're super skinny, super small. Obviously, they're using drugs. He starts saying all this. Like, yeah, I like them to look very young, especially when they're in a high school. This man has to be like 40s, 50s. And he's talking like this. At this time, I was so fucking skinny. So fucking skinny. I had pink hair, piercings, tattoos. So I'm looking at him sideways now, like, I'm so uncomfortable, but I'm already in the car. I'm dope sick. Rob is at home dope sick. I just hope this goes by fast, please, for the love of God. I tell him where to go and he's like, okay, cool, I just have to stop somewhere super quick and then we'll go to your spot. We stop at the store. He goes in and he's in there for over an hour and I'm just sitting in the car. My phone's about to die. Mind you, we're nowhere near Victor's house. Like, he had driven so fucking far. I don't know where I am and it's not like I could just get out and walk back. So I just stick it out. I'm just waiting. He comes back and he's like, I'm so sorry. I had to talk to him about something. My bad. He's like, I just have to stop at CVS super quick. I have to pick up some stuff and then we'll go to your spot. I promise. I'm pissed off. I don't even say anything to him. I'm like turned the other way. And he's like, look, if you wait for me, like if you just let me do this real quick, I'll give you some stuff so you can get well and then we'll go to your spot. I'm like, okay, fine. Fine. I'm like, okay, but you gotta hurry up. Like, Rob is still waiting for me at home. So we go to CVS. He goes in. He takes forever again. I'm fucking fuming at this point. But he gets in. He keeps his word and he gives me some stuff. And I look at it and I notice that it's like quite a bit. I start taking all my stuff out. I was an intravenous user at this time. I start getting it ready. And he's just watching me the entire time, just looking at me. And when I would look over and look at him, he would just smile. And I'm like, fucking weirdo. I keep doing it. I finally get it in. And as soon as I do, as soon as I'm like, ugh, like a sigh of relief, he just looks at me and gives me the biggest smile. And my tolerance was so fucking high at this point. Like, there's a time where I was given some in a bag. I had done it. And I had come out of the bathroom and I was pissed talking about some, I didn't even feel anything, that shit was bunk, blah, blah, blah. And the person who had given it to me turns to Rob and he's like, she did all of that and she doesn't feel it? Like, what the fuck, dude? You're doing way too fucking much. That is not good. So once I'm done, I turn to him. I'm like, look, you have to go to these streets. He turns the car on and all of a sudden he starts like, oh God, I don't feel too good. My head hurts. He pulls the back seat back so he can like lay down and he's sitting there like fanning himself. Like, I'm like, dude, don't fucking do this to me. Like, you made me wait hours. I have to fucking go get this shit and I gotta go. He continues to pretend, oh, I'm not feeling good. I don't feel okay. He's like rubbing his chest, rubbing his stomach at this point, laying back. Super fucking creepy. So then he starts getting even weirder. He's like, I need to take my shirt off. And his car was like fully tinted windows. It was like this beige older Lexus and you couldn't see anything from the outside. So he starts taking his shirt off. The fucking seat is still like pulled back. And when I look over for a split second, I see that he has a gun on his lap. I start to panic. I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna do something to me. Like, people don't just act like this for nothing, for no reason. He starts looking at me. He's like, I guess you're gonna have to come over here. You're gonna have to drive. I'm like, I'm not fucking driving, dude. Like, I just want to get out of here. Like, you told me that we would go after. Let's go. He starts getting upset with me and he's like, you have to drive. I don't feel good. So he looks over at me. He's like, okay, fine. If you don't want to drive, I'm gonna have to take a nap in the back because I can't drive like this. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? I'm so fucking angry with him. And as he's saying this, he starts crawling to the back seat. Like, he pulls the seat up. He starts crawling in the back seat. He still has no shirt on. He has the fucking gun in his hand. And I'm scared. I'm scared shitless. Like, I've been sexually assaulted before, and this is the fucking vibe that has happened almost every single time. I'm frozen. And while he's back there just blabbing about how he doesn't feel good, I start looking around. This kind of car was so old that when you lock it, the little like top thing goes down and you can't pull it up. You can't open it. So I'm sitting there like, how am I gonna get out of here? My phone's about to die. So I start texting Rob like, hey, this guy's acting weird. As I'm texting him, Magic comes up, grabs me by the arm and starts pulling on it saying, come on, just take a nap with me back here. Take a nap with me back here. I'm fucking freaking out, but my body is still frozen. Even if I did get out of the car, I don't know where I am. It's starting to get late. I am nowhere near Victor's house, and it's not a nice area to begin with. Like, I was just in a really bad spot. He still has me by the arm and he's like, come on, it's not gonna take too long, just nap with me for a little bit. We'll take a little nap and then we'll leave, I promise. And my body finally like kicks, like reacts, and I fucking start screaming. I start screaming bloody murder. I'm kicking the fucking front. I'm kicking the steering wheel, the chairs. And I'm like, let me out! Let me out of here! Open the fucking door! Screaming my fucking head off. Because no matter what, I'm gonna get out of here and someone's gonna fucking see what's going on. Someone's gonna hear me. And the fucked up part, the store that we went to, we were parked in the back. So like, there's not a lot of cars back there. It was like almost like a little cul-de-sac. It was really fucking scary, but I'm screaming my head off. Finally, he's like, okay, like this bitch is kind of crazy. He goes up and he starts unlocking it. He's like, oh my god, calm the fuck down. You're fine. I literally didn't even touch you. Calm down. He's screaming at me. I'm screaming back. I'm still kicking. I grab all my shit. I open the door and I walk out. I am crying. I'm bawling my fucking eyes out. I have my phone and I go to call Rob. So I'm on the phone with Rob and he's like just waking up. He's like, where are you? What happened? He didn't even know that I had left. And I'm like, I went to the store with Magic. He said that he was going to take me to the grocery store, take me to blah, blah, blah's house. He won't take me home. It's been hours. He won't fucking take me home and I don't know where I am. And he's like, okay, what streets do you see? I'm like, I don't see any streets. It was so dark at this point. I'm freaking out. And as I'm talking to him, my fucking phone dies. So I'm just stuck. I don't know where I am. I don't know where to go. There's a bunch of creepy looking people around me looking at me like they just want to beat my ass. And I'm just standing there like, what am I going to do next? So I just pick a fucking way and I start walking. And as I'm walking, Magic pulls up in his car and he's like, get in the fucking car, dude. Get in the car. You don't know where you're going. You're going to get attacked out here. Like, he wasn't just fucking trying to attack me in there. He's like, get in the car. Come on, I'll take you home. I'm like, no, I don't fucking trust you. Fuck you. Get the fuck away from me. Screaming at him. And he's like, get in the car. I'm like, no. And I really take a look around. I'm like, oh my god. I really don't know where I am. It's either I get in the car with him or I don't know what's going to happen. I look at him to kind of think like, what am I going to do? And I notice that he starts putting his shirt on, but because he's rushing and he's just being stupid about it, he puts it on inside out and he starts buttoning it up. He's like, come on, get in the car. So I'm just like, okay. So I go around, I get in the car and I'm silent. I'm fucking pissed. I'm livid. I'm scared. And he's just apologizing to me. He's like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for that to happen. My intention was not to scare you. I'm so sorry. I was panicking so bad that at this point I was just dissociating. I didn't even see what way we were going. I was just praying like that this man was going to take me home. After a while of him trying to talk to me and me just ignoring him, he pulls out a bag and he hands me something. So I turn over and I put my hand out and it is a big bag of. So he's like, here, take this. I'm just gonna take you back to Victor's. And I looked at him with such disgust. Not only with everything he said in the beginning, but with what he did to me. But after all, I am an addict. So I took him. It was so dark at this point. It had to have been like 9-10 p.m. when I had left, like at 1 or 2 p.m. So we turned into a neighborhood. I'm still kind of high and out of it from that last shot. I start grabbing all my stuff. I have my phone, my purse, my jacket. I turn to leave and the door is locked again. Before I could even turn around and say anything, and he says to me, I didn't mean to scare you. I thought you would have been into it. I didn't even look at him. I was just like, open the fucking door. And he's like, if you ever need anything, if you need money, if you need, call me and we can come up with a way for you to pay me. I was like, let me out of the fucking car. He finally unlocks the door. I run out and I legit ran to Victor's house. We weren't even that close. Like, we were in the neighborhood, but we were not that close. I ran all the way there. And when he was driving past me to like make a U-turn, this motherfucker rolls the window down and has the nerve to say, stop being so fucking dramatic. I know that you would be into it. I knew that you would be into it. I fucking cried the rest of the way. I ran crying. I was so fucking scared. I was so angry. I finally get back to Victor's house. I see Rob. I hug him. I'm crying. He's like, are you okay? Everyone else is like, are you good? Like, what happened? I finally start telling him what happened. And as soon as I get to the part where he grabbed me by the arm, Rob starts putting his shoes on. He grabs his stuff and he runs outside looking for him. And I'm like, don't even bother. Like, he's not there. He already left and he had a gun too. He starts going off. He starts calling Magic, like on the phone, and he's like, if I ever fucking see you again, I'm fucking your ass up. I'm gonna this and that and this and that, like fucking going off. After that, Magic didn't come around anymore, and every time anybody would mention him, Rob would tell him like, this is what he did to my wife. He's a fucking creep. I don't want that Chomo around here anyway. So yeah, months go by. We don't see him. We don't really hear about him. Again, if you watch the haunted trap house video, this girl named Beth, she comes in and she looks freaked out. Her face is pale. And she's like, I have to come in. I have to sit down. So she sits down and she's like, I have to talk to you about something. And it has to do with Magic. And she knew what he had done to me, and she fucking hated him for it. Everybody did. So Missy is, again, very little, but very rebellious. She would run away a lot. She had colored hair, using drugs, drinking alcohol. Well, Missy's parents called the police one day because she hadn't been home in about a week. Well, one Saturday night, the mom is up. She hears knocking at her door. So she goes outside, she sees a middle-aged man, tall, lanky, running back to his car. It's an old beige Lexus. This man gets in the car and leaves. So she's kind of looking around confused, like, who the fuck was that? And what the fuck was he doing knocking at my door? She's about to go back inside when she turns around and she fucking screams. She sees her little girl thrown on the porch bench and she's unconscious. So she goes up to her to really take a look at her, like, is she alive? But not only was she just unconscious, she's blue. She's blue from head to toe. And that's not even the worst of it. When she really looked at her, she had seen that her daughter was wearing a cute little dress. It had a couple buttons going down the front of it. The buttons were mismatched. They were like buttoned all fucked up. And the entire dress was inside out. Like somebody tried to dress her super quickly and fucked the buttons up. And then she noticed that her daughter was not wearing underwear either. The police get there, the ambulance get there, and sure enough, little baby Missy is overdosing on heroin. And there are obvious signs that she had also been sexually assaulted. That is so sick. How sick of this old fucking man to target little fucking girls, little babies, and do this to them. Fucking sick. But because we didn't know his real name, we couldn't really do much. So we still called the tip line. I gave them all the information, the description, the car description, what he did to me. They never ended up calling me back, but the last that I had heard of him was that he moved to New York. So he evaded all of that. So he didn't even get caught for that. So this story, this situation always stuck with me, especially if you're a woman in the drug game. Don't trust anyone. After I started using, it happened so many times. You can't fucking trust anyone. And honestly, I'm so glad that I got clean and that I got my shit together. I got out of that situation. It's just so fucking dangerous. It's so fucking dangerous. These people are fucking disgusting. So just stay away from it. Please be careful and don't use drugs, please. I know this was a really serious video, but I hope that you guys learned something from it. And I hope that you guys are careful this Halloween. Have fun, but just be careful. Watch out. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.